All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the HITI pregame show with James. Pleasant Sunday to you wherever you may be. Uh, as the Angels take on the Astros, final and rubber game, surprisingly, of this three-game series here with Houston. The game coming up at 4:10 p.m. West Coast time on the four-letter network ESPN. Of course, on mute for me. I don't want to listen to you know, the ESPN, uh, they're really awful. So I don't listen to them, of course. Um, if you want to go to the game, either today or whenever, go to 714 Tickets. Great website and app there. If you're looking for Angel tickets, MLB tickets, concert tickets, theater tickets, wherever you may be wanting to go. Lots of concerts out there and tours going on. I read that Elton John tour finally ended and he made like $93 million. It's just crazy to me. But it was a tour that lasted from 2018 till I think this week, so it was crazy to think. But that's Elton John. His tour is over. There's so many other uh, groups to see, or bands, or artists to see. So check out 714 Tickets for all of that. And then no hidden fees or checkouts. No hidden fees or surprises at checkout. And then right now, put the code in HITI for 10% off at checkout. Don't forget that HITI. If you're wanting to go see the Yankees or the Pirates this weekend at the Big A, or next weekend, this week coming up, I should say. Long homestand here, and still six more games to go, or seven if you count today. Then not only that, with 714 tickets, you'll be in a drawing for a free Halos jersey, courtesy of Halos in the Infield at 714 tickets, and then you get 5% off of your future purchases going forward. So there you go. The number 714-842-5387. Again, 714 or 714-842-5387. Also check out uh, Noble Ale Works. I just saw today on there, and go on the Instagram page. It's really good. They're really engaging, really great people that work there. Got to meet a few of them. They just had a yoga session. They also have some fun runs going around there. So check them out at 1621 Sinclair Street, Anaheim, California, 92806. Mention Halos in the Infield for free parking during Angel games, and then drink specials. So it's all a win here with these two sponsors. Try the brews and the tasty eats from various local food trucks. Uh, their schedule on the Instagram page of Noble Ale Works. Okay, and then also watch the Todd Fox post game show after uh, every Angels game. I think other from today, I'll be back on tonight. Uh, because of the game, and Sunday is usually reserved for something else for Todd. So, and also check out the Around the League show. Probably have one Monday or Tuesday. We'll see what coming out with me and Todd Fox. Also check out the new Halos in the Infield flagship podcast. Yes, that's the name of it. On YouTube, and then wherever you find your podcast. So it could be Spotify, Podbean, Apple, Google, and other podcast mediums. I was on the most recent one. We had a roundtable, Rob, um, and the three usual suspects, and me. Um, and I think you enjoyed it. We talked about the first half of the first half, if that makes sense. Sure. And then the second half of the first half. Well, they'll get into, or I might join. I don't know if they want me. Uh, Tonight, and then that should be out sometime this week coming up. So yeah, check those out, and then also check out, of course, social media platforms. Just type in Halos in the Infield, and boom, you're right there. and you'll get all of our content. So the Astros come in 51-42, the Angels at 46-47. So yesterday was crazy. The Angels won in the 10th inning, 13-12. They snapped their 6-game losing streak. It was wild. I know Renjifo had a home run that was had to be reviewed, and it clearly went over that yellow line in right field. I don't know why they had to review that, but they did, or had to review it. And that was in the bottom of the second. You feel good, they're up 3-0. And then Kyle Tucker singled in a couple of runs to make it 3-2 in the top of the third. And then top of the fourth, Martin Maldonado, who kills the Angels, it seems like, doubled in a couple of runs, and then just like that, the lead is gone. It's 4-3 Houston. Later on in the top of the seventh, Dubon singled in a run to make it 5-3. Kyle Tucker had a sacrifice fly to make it 6-3, and then Jose Abreu. And I have to mention, though, Kyle Tucker, that hit Moniak, made that great catch to steal extra bases from Kyle Tucker, the All-Star. And then Jose Abreu homered, his 8th of the year. He's starting to get hot, unfortunately, to make it 9-3. And I was listening to that game, and I could just hear it. You could just hear the contact by Abreu, and you knew that home run was going to happen. So it was 9-3 going to the bottom of the seventh. Stretch time. Felt like, man, this game is probably over. That's where the Angels shocked us. Zach Neto homered, his 7th of the year, and it's great to have Neto back. You can feel the leadership, the enthusiasm back. Homer to center field, or left center, actually. I don't know why left center field. I mean, that thing, I think, bounced into that bleachers, which rarely happens during the game. Those are usually BP shots, not during the game. But it was a low fastball, and Neto just golfed it. It was great to see. So that was 9-5. And then the single brought home Ward by Escobar to make it 9-6. You're like, okay, things are happening. Remind you, I'm at work scrubbing away the whole damn kitchen. Now, and I'm just listening like, what the hell's going on here? I can't believe a comeback is happening. More happened in bottom of 7th, of course. Mike Moustakas homered, his 7th of the year. To right center field, it was a no-doubter, way over the line and in the crowd to make it 9-9. I'm just standing there like, what? Okay, in the top of the 8th, though, what I mentioned to Todd and what he mentions all the time in his pre-games is like, hey, they always give the lead back. They get or a tied game, whatever the case is, they always do. So they didn't shy away from that, the Angels. Top of the 8th, McCormick hits his 9th home run, 2-run shot to make it 11-9. So I'm thinking, oh man, the Astros are going to win 13-9 probably. That's what I'm thinking in my head at work when that happened. And then in the top of the 9th, they get a single by Diaz to bring in Abreu to make it 12-9. I'm like, yeah, my prediction's coming close where they're going to win 13-9. Well, it's 12-9 going to the bottom of the 9th. You thought, man, I don't know if the Angels have a shot. Ohtani led off with his 33rd home run, a no-doubter. I mean, you could hear it again. You hear it on the radio, or my phone, I should say. So it was 12-10, and you're thinking, okay, maybe a Patrick O'Neill bloop and a blast, and you could tie the game. So Renfroe singled home Squid, and Escobar went to third to make it. Pass ball happened. Excuse me. While what was it? While Moustakas was up, and Ward scored from third. Squid went to third. Escobar went to second. So that was very important because the next batter, Renfroe, singled in McCormick. Velasquez scored to make it 12-12. And then the Angels had a shot to win it. but couldn't do it. So in the top of the 10th, they got the outs. The Angels did, luckily. So they had a golden chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th. Ward grounded out into a force. The second baseman, Dubon, flipped to the shortstop, Kessinger. But Kessinger threw it wide to Abreu at first. It hit off the dugout railing, bounced back, but it was too late because Cabbage uh, from uh, from third came home to score, or he was running to second and then went home to from third. Luckily, and the throw was way late. Cabbage comes home to score. Madness ensues. Unfortunately, like Todd was saying yesterday, there was only about 36,000, but it looked like there was less. But it felt like a big game atmosphere with that comeback because that usually does not happen with the Angels. So that was amazing to see. I think the post game yesterday really showed what happened. Not showed, but explained what happened in the crowd and the atmosphere, and Todd and his family being there really, really showed that. So that was really cool to see and hear about. Again, I heard it on the radio. So the standings for both after yesterday's game: Houston is second in the AL West, 3 games out of first place. Texas, and I still think Texas makes the playoffs, but it seems like Houston's gonna get that division. I don't know what you people think, but let me know. Uh, and Houston also has the third wild card spot in the American League. The Angels are in fourth in the AL West, 8 games back, 5 games back of the wild card. So they're right on the borderline there, where it just seems impossible that uh, they have a shot, or maybe they don't. Who knows? No real news today. I was looking everywhere. Um, and we'll get to the lineups and we'll explain maybe some news coming up soon with that. So the Angels won, of course. That snapped a 6-game losing streak, and that definitely felt good. Like Todd mentioned, they really needed that. Tyler Anderson for today's game will lead off, or will be the starting pitcher for the Angels. The lefty, he's 4-2 with a 5.25 ERA, 84 innings pitched, 49 earned runs, 91 hits, 68 strikeouts, 37 walks, 10 home runs, 15 starts. There was 1 relief appearance, and it was last week. I think it was last Wednesday. Yeah, that sounds right. No, I'm sorry. Last Saturday, the 8th. Let me get that right. The 8th in LA to face the Dodgers. That was after Detmers had a really bad start, and it was just the time to get some pitchers in that wouldn't normally start because of the All-Star break. But he went 4 and 1/3 innings that day, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. He gave up, I think, 2 home runs in that outing. This will be his first start against Houston, surprisingly, this season. I mean, I double checked it this morning, and I just couldn't believe that was his first start against Houston this year. Anderson's got the 90 miles per hour forcing fastball. It's a little faster than usual, but it's still pretty slow. 80 miles per hour on the changeup, 84 on the cutter, 77 on the slider, 88 on the sinker, and then I think he's thrown, I want to say 4 or 11 pitches with his 76 miles per hour curveball. For Houston, Christian Javier. He's 26 years old. He was born in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic in 1997. He made his major league debut on July 25th of 2020, so his anniversary is coming up. This year he's 7-1 with a 4.34 ERA, 91 and 1/3 innings pitched, 86 hits, 82 strikeouts, 44 runs, 25 walks, 13 home runs, and this will be his 18th start. His last start was at Texas, and he got shelled. 4 and 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 8 earned runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. So the last three starts have been rough, and it's just something to look into. Hopefully, the Angels attack him right away against Javier. That's the hope. We'll see if that happens. So that's really the hope um, of today's lineup, and I think you say that with both lineups. He faced the Angels twice this year. Did Javier, one home and one away, both wins, and he both went. Both times went 6 innings, so he's really sharp. One of them, I think, he had a double-digit strikeout performance. His first one uh, at the Big A. His pitch is 92 miles per hour fastball, 14 fastball, 79 on the slider, 83 on the changeup, and then 76 on the curveball. So the lineups, let's get to them. And reminder, this game coming up at 4:10, so you got time to do whatever and then get back for that. Usually, we have 1 o'clock games, not 4. But again, national television making it so, um, uh, you know, get a later start. The only problem is, too, you'll notice the game. The shadows will be a problem. Uh, not really the sun coming down on that on the pitcher's mound. That's usually reserved for like the around 7 o'clock, 7:10, something like that. I think Gooby and Wayne went into that one day because they were seeing that. Um, yes, I live by an airport, so it's like Shea Stadium, old Shea Stadium. Let's get to the lineups. Mauricio Dubon will lead off for the Astros. He had 3 hits yesterday. He'll be the second baseman for Mauricio Dubon. And then batting second will be Alec Bregman, the third baseman. And I believe he made his 9th error yesterday, which is surprising. He's usually really, really good over there defensively, but this year he's had his issues. Batting third is Kyle Tucker in right field, and he definitely deserves that distinction. Batting fourth, Jose Abreu, the first baseman. Batting fifth is Chaz McCormick, the left fielder. Batting sixth is Yainer Diaz. He's a designated hitter today. Batting seventh is Jake Myers out in center field. And batting eighth, the hero yesterday for the Angels, or the zero for the Astros, was Gray Kessinger. And he spells his first name Grae, not Y. So it's a little different. And then Malty Maldonado will be catching for the Astros today. And I don't know what it is again. It seems like Maldonado hits as hard. There's I would say, determination to beat the Angels when Maldonado is behind the plate or in the batter's box. It just seems like he has the Angels number, or he knows something. The matchups against Anderson. So Abreu's hitting 333. Bregman is hitting 500, as well as Dubon. Maldonado 143, but he'll surprise everybody with a home run today. You just know it. Myers is hitting 400, and then Kyle Tucker hitting 750. So those are players to look out for against Tyler Anderson. Okay, for the Angels, leading off, and I love this move, Zach Neto. Remember, he was leading off earlier this season, and it was hit and miss. You're putting a lot on the rookie, but it seems like he can handle it. So I love that leadoff position for Neto, the shortstop. Batting second is Shohei Ohtani, the designated hitter, the fire starter in that bottom of the ninth. It was really fun to see. Batting third, and everybody loves him, Mickey Moniak in center field. He had catch yesterday that robbed extra bases. He was taken out by philosophy. Uh, one thing too, and I think Todd mentioned it, and they had a great view at the ball game, and I saw the highlights this morning or last night, I believe, when I got home late from work. The play at third, the running at third when Hasselman uh, didn't know what to do, but he sent Escobar, and he was thrown out pretty easily. Although Maldonado had a great leap and a tag on Escobar. That was great to see. Maldonado, his catching ability is awesome. Unfortunately, it was against the Angels, of course. But it seems like the third base coach, he doesn't know what he's doing out there. It's just bad. You have Mashmore, whatever his last name is, at first base. And every time I'm reminded of Angels Astros, I'm reminded of last year, the whole Taylor Ward situation at first base when he got a single, and then Altuve throws the ball over to first. Ward tries to catch it, and the first base coach is just looking at everything going on, like, huh? Not telling Ward to get on the bag. Maldonado comes over right behind the play, catches the ball, and tags out Ward. It was just so stupid. So I'm always reminded of bad base coaching whenever these two get together. Anyway, batting fourth will be, of course, Taylor Ward in left field. Batting fifth is Mike Moustakas, the third baseman. He had the big 3-run home run to tie it in the seventh inning. The 6 runs that came in, just clutch. It was amazing. Moustakas will be at third today. Batting sixth will be Matt Thaiss, the catcher. Batting seventh, there will be Hunter Renfroe in right field. Batting eighth and making his first major league start is Troy Cabbage at first base. So that's awesome to see. Remember Friday when he was called up? He was called up in a big pinch hitting role Saturday as well, and now he gets a start on national television. And his family was there. He got the post-game interview yesterday on television after sliding home on the winning run. Uh, Batting ninth, there's Hunter Renfroe. He's been hot and cold. Um, Even had the benching on Friday. Came back Saturday and hit a home run, so that was good to see, or good to hear if you're in my case. He'll be playing second base now against Javier. The Angels looking it up. Escobar 250, Neto's 0 for 2, Ohtani's hitting 316 with 19 at bats, 2 home runs by the way. Renfroe has a home run against him, but he's only hitting 143. By the way, Shohei has 5 RBIs against Javier. Rengifo's hitting 500 against Javier, so that's a good thing. He's in the lineup. Thaiss hitting 400. Velasquez hitting 167, just in case pitch hitting later. And then Ward having a difficult time. Excuse me, he's only 1 for 12. And that, of course, accumulates to hitting 083. So the keys to the game for the Angels for me, again, hit Javier hard and early, get him out of the game, and tax that bullpen. A reminder, too, and Terry Smith mentioned this, and I didn't really realize this because I don't watch many Astro games because they're so good. I don't want to see them. But they don't have a left-hand reliever. Yesterday, Framber Valdez started for him. That's their only left-hand pitcher. I didn't know that. So expect the Astros to go out and get a lefty reliever and a predominant one by the deadline. That's really going to help them going forward. And you saw Moustakas, kill the Astros with the left-handed at bat and the tying home run yesterday. So it's amazing to see because we have all these power hitters and they're lefties, and you're gonna have to go lefty against lefty sometime against them. And they also, another key for the Angels is for Anderson. And I know I'm going high, but it's gonna be one of these games that's hot. Both pitchers are going to give up a lot of runs. We might have almost a repeat of yesterday, but not as dramatic. Maybe. Um, but for Tyler Anderson to give up 4 runs or less, he can only help that way. If he gives up, 5 or more, that pretty much puts the game over, you would think. So that's how I feel about the keys to the game. I wonder what everybody else's their keys to the game. But to me, it's a keep the bond off of the base pads. Tucker, you got to pitch him very carefully. I know it's lefty versus lefty, but don't go middle in, especially with the non-velocity that Anderson possesses. That's going to kill him all day, it seems like. I feel like Abreu is going to hit a home run off of Anderson. He's going to have a pitch that will leak into the middle of the zone, and Abreu is going to kill it. I just feel that way. Anyway, before I get to the scores going on today, the schedule coming ahead for the Angels, again, the rubber game today with Houston at 4 o'clock on ESPN, just an hour from now. Then there's 3 with the last place New York Yankees, and it's weird to say that, but it's all over the place. Everybody is way above 500, though, in the AL East. They come without Judge, do the Yankees, for 3 straight, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here. And then the off day on Thursday, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates come to town, 21, 22, 23. Throwback weekend. Hopefully we see some throwback jerseys. I doubt it. 24th is off on that Monday, and then the Angels go on the road. They'll be in Detroit, Toronto to finish the month of July, and then they'll be in August, and the schedule gets even tougher in August. There's not many series to be had, in my opinion. And then you get to the point at the end of the month with the trading deadline coming up, and you really don't know what to do with Shohei. You want to keep him. You want to see if the team can make a run for a wild card, but reality has to set in. And then you also have to think about Hunter Renfroe. Do you trade him? Are there offers out for him? I don't know. That's going to be an interesting thing. I wonder too, and people out there, if there's any other trade candidates you think for the Angels. We know they're. I don't think they're going to be buyers. I think they'll be sellers. I think at the end of this homestand, it'll really show what the team will do. I mean, if the team goes on and wins 7, 8 in a row, then you would think, okay, they're buyers. Even if they play 500 the rest of the homestand, I think they'll be sellers. I just think that way. They don't, they're. I just don't see it, honestly. But hopefully, we'll get your opinions about if there's any buyers or sellers for the Angels, any trades that happen. We'll see what happens. Let's get to some scores around the league today. A few rainouts or rain delays happened. It seemed like that yesterday. Let's get to some finals. So the Rangers unfortunately win 6-5 in Texas over Cleveland. The Red Sox stay hot. They defeat the Cubs at Wrigley 11-5. The Cardinals defeat Washington 8-4 in St. Louis. The Royals led 7-0 at one point. They hold on to win 8-4 against Tampa Bay and Kansas City. The Brewers sweep the Reds, and that's an important series because Milwaukee now holds first place over Cincinnati. They show who's boss over Cincinnati there in Ohio. They win it 4-3 today. The Blue Jays defeat the Diamondbacks 7-5. That, of course, was Gurriel Jr. trade series in Battle of the Surprises. The Orioles shut out Miami 5-4 in Baltimore. The White Sox surprisingly win 8-1 in Georgia against the Braves. And a final in 10 innings, the Giants defeat the Pirates 8-4 in Pittsburgh. Let's get to some games that are currently going on. The Padres lead the Phillies in Philadelphia 3-2. The Phillies are threatening. I think rain delayed the start of this game. The Yankees and the Rockies will go to the bottom of the ninth tied at 5. The Yankees came back to tie it at 2. In the top of the seventh inning, in Oakland, the A's lead 3-2 against Minnesota. Up in Seattle, the Mariners lead 2-0 over Detroit. And another game that was delayed by rain, the Dodgers and Mets have no score in the bottom of the third. And later on, of course, the Angels and Astros on ESPN at 4:10. But I will mute and listen to AM 830 for sure. Let's see. So scoring update: bottom of the sixth, the Phillies take the lead 4-3 against San Diego and Philadelphia. So the Padres, I think, they won Friday, but they are on their way to lose 3-4 in Philadelphia. All right, let's get to some comments real quick. But again, Anderson going for the Angels today. Hopefully keep the ball low enough to not get hurt. And then Javier, who's been struggling for the Astros, will be the starter for Houston today. All right, let's see. Comments going on. Robert, shout out to him. We spoke on the last podcast, recapping the first half of the first half. He says, Noniak and Moniak season. Yeah, without Trout, it's Moniak in center, and then Neto has taken over at shortstop. It's really cool to see the youth thrive. And the thing is, with the young guys there, I think Todd hit this really hard. You saw the leadership yesterday of Neto, Moniak, and Moustakas. And he mentioned the team going forward on the postgame show, that Trout isn't a leader. He's not one to say much. I think there's been a couple examples, but they didn't really lead to anything, and nobody really took it that serious. And the team, I like one thing he also mentioned, that when the team does win, it's not because of Phil Nevin. It's because of the players. That's just reality. And Todd Fox always hits it on the head there. So, Robert, yeah, it is Neto and Moniak season. They are here. They're ready to rule the world and hopefully lead the team to respectability. That's what we want. If they don't go to the playoffs, at least finish the year well enough that, hey, they will make an impact on the season and then going forward, that you can lean on these guys and they will show how to play the game and how to go about it. That would be awesome. Let's get to some Instagram comments today. A lot of people joining in, and thank you that did. Nathan _Beal says, Tyler is going to get us a win today. I hope. But the main thing is, hey, keep the ball low, but avoid the damn walks. That would be awesome. Avoid the walks and keep the ball low and don't get hit hard. But, man, they are stacking the righties. I'm afraid about Abreu. Got to pitch him carefully. Hopefully get some ground outs to first by Abreu. We'll see what happens. Again, and it's great seeing Cabbage getting his first start here today against the Astros on national television at first base. That's great. because I know people were clamoring for him to come up, and with Adele's injury, among others, Rendon, Cabbage is now here. So Brad underscore Romanelio saying, "Go Halos." Yes, indeed. Try to hear joining in. Shout out to you. Brad saying the season started yesterday. Sure. And then the whole thing about the winning streak. If we win today, we win two in a row. But if we win Monday, that's a winning streak. There you go. Again, shout out to everybody joining in. Nathan also saying, yeah, Tyler is going to get us a win. Grinding True Crime saying my name, and shout out to that page. If you're really looking to scare yourself and listen to a podcast at the worst time, like 1, 2, 3 a.m., whatever the case is, listen to the Grinding True Crime podcast. Grinding True Crimes podcast. Find it wherever, and then watch the horrific pictures and whatever else on YouTube. Really great stuff from Todd, Gabby, and Matt. Speaking of Matt, thank you for joining in. Maddie's saying, also, do we win tonight, James? I hate that. I never have any confidence with this team anymore. So I'm going to say no, but jinx it. Hopefully make it a yes. But I just don't trust Anderson. I hope he fares better. The pressure is going to be on him against Houston on national television. It's a day game, or afternoon game, so the ball's going to fly out. I just don't have trust in Anderson. I'm going to have to rely on that bullpen, that's for sure. So again, shout out to everybody that joined in. Jack Sports Lock, and shout out to you and the hikes you take. Hopefully we jump on Javier early. He mentioned, that's a big key for me. The bullpen's already been taxed by Houston the last couple of nights. A reminder, they don't have that lefty bullpen piece, so it'd be good to explore that. That would be great. Dylan saying, James, what a ride yesterday. What a wild ride yesterday. Yeah, I finally got home after work. I put some dinner in, and I watched the highlights of it, and I couldn't believe what went on. That was amazing to see. Just marvelous. Amazing. Dylan saying, former Angels always kill us, so that's why when see Ohtani leaves us, he will destroy us bad. I mean, that's the unfortunate reality. I know we don't want to think about it, but it's that time. It's that time of year where the trade deadline comes up, and you either have to make a decision. I think more people are seeing the reality of it, and then also seeing the reality of his contract. Is it what his agents or his agent wants? The $500+ million contract for 10 years or however long. Is he going to be a pitcher / hitter for 5 of those 10 years? Or will he have to give up one early? My guess is that he stops being a pitcher and becomes a DH full time. And then basically you're getting he's good now, but later on it's going to feel like an Albert Pujols contract where he's basically a DH, but you're paying him way more. And I don't want that. Angels maybe should go a different route with their philosophy, but I really don't know what they're going to do. They have a track record of just saying, hey, we're going to get the biggest name out there, or the second, like they did with Rendon, and eat up all that money. I don't want that anymore. I want a youth movement as much as possible. Start it all over in a sense. But from what we've seen years on, that's not how this team does. It's unfortunate. I met 2002 St. Dylan. Chill, he ain't going anywhere. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see. Dylan saying, ESPN wanted Ohtani to pitch today, but that won't stop him from talking about where he's going to get traded to or where he's going to go in the offseason. And then, if you have it not on mute, you're going to hear all the criticism of the Angels. I mean, from everything, from the top to Phil to Perry to the players. It's going to be heavy on Ohtani and praise on the Astros, especially if the game goes bad for the Angels. It's just going to be more dumpage, that's a word, on the Angels. That's why I'm putting that on mute. Gerardo Perez is awful. Ravage is awful. And then what's worse on ESPN2, I think they have that Alex Rodriguez and Michael Kay Gamecast. So it's like the worst of worst worlds with ESPN 1 and 2 today. No. Dylan's saying, to be honest, Ohtani is a franchise player and can have two. But Trout hasn't led us to deep playoff contention whatsoever. Yeah, and there's rumors about Trout being traded. And I think maybe some teams will shy away from giving up a lot because of his injuries lately and how frequently they come. And it's usually this time of year, and then Trout misses the rest of the year, surprisingly. I know maybe in the off season you explore making that trade depending on the Shohei trade or if you traded him already. There's a lot that's going to happen this off season. You thought, last off season was a little crazy. This off season, and I love what somebody mentioned on the Todd Fox pregame show on Friday. I forget whom it was, but they said this offseason will determine the Angels' future for the next decade. This offseason right here. And it feels that way. It really feels that way. And it's a horrific feeling. It's one that you don't know what the hell's going to happen. But you hope that it leads to the old winning ways coming back. But right now, we're all skeptical. We don't know if we can be a good team or if we're just going to stay bad. We really don't know. And that's the scary part about all this. Rally Chris saying, what's up, James? It doesn't look like I'm going to make that Friday game against the Pirates on 21st. I got to work that whole damn weekend. I doubt you'll save me a fanny pack, Rally Chris. I doubt you will. Rally Chris saying, play those home runs by the Angels last night, James. No, I don't do requests. No. I can tell you hit a home run. And Hifo Moustakas and Ohtani. I can tell you. But that's it. Rally Chris. Enjoy your birthday. I won't be a part of it. On that 21st or whatever you're going to do. Are you like doing a suite or something? I forget. We'll see how that goes. But I'll follow your social media. I'll see how all that happens. Rally Chris saying, I don't like that fanny pack. Well, give yours to me. I'd take it, but I put it around my shoulder like the new kids do, because I can't fit a fanny pack around my stomach area right now. But I dare you to say one for me. I double dog dare you to say one for me. Dylan's saying with Otani's contract, they should do incentives for play, just like how J Rod contract for Jerry Dipoto. The difference is that's a younger player, and they're just built different in Seattle. The team is built different, I should say. I don't know. I just don't know if that's going to happen, honestly. Uh, I think Otani's just gonna his agent. They're gonna give him everything right away. I know incentives would be a nice way to go about it, and backload a contract as well. But I just don't see that with an Otani contract, just based on all of the teams that are going to be in the sweepstakes for him, or the lottery, so to speak. New York teams, Seattle, the Dodgers, even the Mariners and the Giants, I heard, are in this sweepstakes. Somebody mentioned Texas or Houston. I know Dusty Baker was talking about Ohtani. I don't see that. I mean, that would be highly unfair. If It would be unfair if he went to the Dodgers, if he went to the Astros. I don't know about that. But I love that idea, Dylan, but I just don't see that with Ohtani's agent. I met O2 saying, I hope Anderson can go at least 6 innings. I doubt it. And I just said 4 less runs. That could be in 4 innings or 5 innings, whatever the case is. Rally Chris saying, if I do go, I'll give it to Todd to give it to you. We'll see. And then I met 2002 saying St. Louis is a possible destination. I don't see that. I didn't see those rumors come up. Right now, St. Louis, and remind you, they don't really do big contracts. I know Arenado and Goldsmith are there. I mean, there's a chance. I don't know if this is true. There's a chance they might unload both of those guys. When you think about it, if they really want to go young, if they really want to start over, they're having one of their worst years in years in St. Louis right now. Um, but maybe they need to retool that farm system in St. Louis, and I don't think signing Ohtani would be a key for them. I'll be shocked as hell if he went to the Cardinals. Uh, the fan base would love him, but usually you don't see um, someone like him going to the Cardinals. I don't know. It's just not the Cardinal way, I would think. We'll see what happens, though. Dylan's saying that's why baseball is so busted. I hate guaranteeing money. Thank you, Players Union. And he gives a 1 finger salute. Yeah. What do you think, Kurt Flood and all the free agent stuff and Marvin Miller back in the day for all this? But it's gotten to a point where it's ridiculous. We know about Scott Boras and the hatred for the Angels, even though he sits right there of course, on the dugout, the opponent's dugout side of the seats down low. Um, he doesn't deal with the Angels well, you know, and then the agents always ask for too much money, and it's not an NFL contract where all of it's not guaranteed. With baseball, same thing with the NBA. It's just ridiculous how much guaranteed money there is, and then the years that are into a big contract. It just doesn't seem logical to me. And I can understand why those teams like the Rays, uh, I'm trying to think of whom else. Not go as extreme as the Athletics. But the Orioles, let's say, they don't go out and sign big free agents. Especially for decade deals, or at least over 5 year deals, or they keep it in house. The players they've traded for, or in their farm system, or they just let them go and trade them for someone else. But those teams that do that, they're the smart ones. scouts. They know how to scout. They know to get value back for a player that's going to get a lot of value for them. I think that's what separates the smart teams and you have the dumb teams. Like the Angels have spent, the last decade or so. I wish it wasn't the case with all this guaranteed money and the years where you get paid more, but you're older and you don't produce as much. Those contracts need to go so far away. We know how messy the Players Association and the owners can get when they go against each other. We saw that in 2022. The newest agreement will end in 26 or before 26. And I would hope one day, and we know maybe they'll lose a whole season because of it, but one day we can get to a point where those contracts are outlawed. But I doubt it. I would love it though. I met 2002 say nope, they don't. I know I don't see it either. I just saw possible destinations for Shohei and it says St. Louis. Wow. And I had a friend say Texas. I said, well, damn, they're not afraid to spend. They did it for DeGrom. They did it for Simeon, excuse me. Whoops. Seeker. But man, to add Ohtani too, and all the youth they have, they would rival the Astros right then and there. I mean, didn't they have 5 starters for the All-Star game? They're on their way. I met 2002 laughing. James, who do you think we're selling at the deadline if we're still under 500? Renfro for sure. Ohtani. I don't think Trout. I don't think many people are going after him. I hope not Estevez. I really hope not. I would hope, with another year left, they keep him around. I hope it's not one of those deals like Iglesias where they just trade him even though they have years left with him. But the contract isn't so much. The thing is, yeah, if you're under 500 and you have no reason for this season to really mean anything, would you explore trading Estevez considering you get a great haul back? I would have to look at that and say it just depends what you get back. And it would have to be 4 to 5 players. But I don't think that's going to happen. Someone would have to be so desperate to get a bona fide closer like him and say we need him, we'll do anything it takes. Really? Anything? Anything. Even Mustakis, and Escobar may be 2 candidates, even though they just got him, I know. But let's say you tried like Perry did, and there's no way that they're going to make the playoffs. If a team is so desperate for some left-handed hitting, like Escobar and Mustakis, maybe you do that too. But again, this all depends on what you get back. I know everybody was mentioning on the post-game show yesterday or the day before with Anthony Rendon. And the dream scenario, like Jim mentioned, hey, if Ohtani is traded, hopefully Rendon can be added into a deal. But I don't think that's going to happen. Rengifo, I guess you have to stick with. Ward as well. But those guys feel also expendable. There's almost a scenario other from 3 or 4 guys, especially in the lineup today, where you feel they can all be traded. You really feel that way. And that's why, again, whoever mentioned it in Friday's post-game show with Todd Fox, saying, hey, this off-season will be the most important. And it starts, not the season, but it starts at this trade deadline and the week of that, before the deadline. It starts then, and it starts in the off-season. That will determine the future, you would think. I'm met 2002 saying, I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I hope it's Shohei. Just because I want something for him, not just land and walk in free agency. That's a big thing. I want him to win also. It seems like he has the heart, the drive, the determination to win. He's not going to get that here. Let's just be honest. And also, like Todd Fox mentioned, you should have did it before the deadline last year, but you didn't. You said, okay, we're going to ride. We're going to try one more time. But that's just tough. Dylan saying, I say it, Drury, Renfres, and Esteves. Or Drury, Renfro, Esteves. I forgot about Brandon Drury, and I believe he's on a 2-year deal. So that might make it a little more easier. But the thing is, what do you have in the minors, and what are you going to bring up for the season and in the off season for Drury's positions? That's going to be the toughest thing. So I don't know. Drury, you can throw in there as well. Veterans. Definitely all the veterans. But you can't touch any of the Cubs. And I mean the young players when I say that. I met 2002 Dylan saying to Dylan, I hope we keep Esteves. He's a solid closer. We could use him for the next 4 years. I think he signed until after next season. We saw how that went for Iglesias. I don't want the same one to Esteves. Yeah, that's what I just mentioned. Dylan's saying, do you think we can swindle someone in trading Ohtani and getting back in free agency? I don't think that'll happen. That was another dream scenario by James Malou on his Facebook page. That would be robbery. That would be something, but that normally doesn't happen. Yeah, I think it happened with Aroldis Chapman, didn't it? But I just don't see it happening with Shohei. I met 2002 saying, if we can sell Rengifo somehow, man, that would be amazing. Thing is, what you would get back for it. We would have to have a team that would say, hey, we need a second baseman. We need someone with a little pop. We need someone that will go somewhere and do a little better. Maybe Renehifo's their guy, but we got to fleece the other team, that's for sure. Dylan saying we should have traded Rengifo when we had the chance. Looking at last year, because I was one of those guys drinking the Kool-Aid, honking my horn about Rengifo. I'm like, man, he's gonna break out this year. Watch, he's gonna be close to an all-star, competent player this year. And now it's been the opposite for Rengifo. Forget I ever said that. Dylan saying I'm at 2002. Maybe we get Jock and Stripling. Oh yeah, that was one of those deals already shut down in 2018, right? And Dylan, or I meant saying for Rengifo, that's a win, Dylan. Rick's, oh god, Super Bowls 27, right? Okay, yeah. Rick's _27 saying, are we keeping Ohtani? Probably not. I could just see that Artie says, no, we're going to keep him, and then I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to not try to slur my speech to keep Shohei here. And both won't happen. Dylan saying it happened before from the Yankees. That's what happened with Chapman, I believe, I want to say. Dylan saying Perry needs to talk to Ohtani about trading him and ask can he come back. Worth a shot, to be honest. Perry better act desperate because his job is on the line. With Perry, I feel like in 2 or 3 years, his job will be on the line. Right now, he's just trying to get people signed where they need him to be, and that's it. That's it. There was something I was going to mention too with with Ohtani and Phil Nevin right now. There seems to be a little dysfunction. We remember he was taken out of Friday's game by Phil Nevin, not able to finish the 6th inning because of a blister. But he wanted to stay in. It seemed like Shohei and Epi thought that too, but Nevin took him out. And ever since then, there's been a little hostility. Maybe that'll break things open with Shohei leaving. I know it doesn't help. I know that for sure. Dylan saying, bro, already going to blame Perry. Yeah, I can see that. We have some YouTube comments finally. Silent Ian, shout out to you. He says Artie's unfinished business. Tried to keep Ohtani and watch him walk because he doesn't want to stay with the sorry team. Get nothing and continue to be losers, aka destroy this team. Yeah, that's what it feels like, and that's the worst thing he can do. Silent E saying, as much as I would love to keep him in the building, it hasn't worked so far. And then, yeah, I definitely believe that. So, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. The game coming up at 4:10, of course, on the Four Letter Network. Put on mute, put on Terry and Mark on the radio side. Been great talking to you on this Sunday afternoon. Hopefully, you're staying cool, hydrating, whatever the case is. Hopefully, you're doing that. It's been great talking to you. I will have the pregame show for tomorrow, not Tuesday, not Wednesday, not Friday, not Sunday, not Thursday, of course, because there's no game. So maybe I'll see you next Sunday after yesterday. If you got all that. Work, appointments, among other things, in the way. So that's just the issues right now, and we'll see you next time on the Halos pregame show. Halos in the Infield pregame show with James here. Keep watching Halos in the Infield for all of the content, the podcast, the pregame shows, the postgame shows, the lives, wherever you find the content. Check out the flagship podcast as well. Check out Noble Ale Works across the street from Catella. Check out that. And also check out 714 Tickets for all your ticket needs. A great service from the staff there. Fantastic people. Whether you're calling in or whatever the case is. All right, everyone take care and go Halos. Try to win a series for once.